time to tackle the sour TBR.
After all of those flops, I can't even express how happy I am right now. Guys, your girl is a hot friggin' mess. I was hoping that I'd have more done by now. I'm not crying, you're crying.
Oh, kiwi.
That tickles. Hello, 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 and welcome to the plus size readathon. We are going to be tackling the sour sprints today. No, the sour. We're going to be helping with the, oh my God. Apparently, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. Something. We're going to be doing something, okay? Kiwi's like literally standing between my legs, so I'm trying not to move and accidentally step on her. Can I show you? Look at that baby. Look at her. I don't know why she's standing there of all places. I love you. I love you. So we're going to be reading the books for the sour prompts. I am on both teams, but officially sour team because I learned about it from Julie, who's on the sour team. So I figured that was the main one that I'm going to do, but we will be reading for both Lexi and Julie's team, sweet and sour. And we're going to be reading the book club pick. I will not be finishing this. I will be starting it and then finishing it in the next vlog. So you'll get a little bit here and the rest of it there. In this vlog, we're going to be tackling Delicious Monsters. We will be going on to Bride of the Haunted Manor. We will be reading Can't Resist Her and When Grumpy Met Sunshine. So these are our candidates for today's video. Along with the buddy read, we'll start My Curvy Rival. Today, I have 50 million things to do because everything decided to happen on the 1st of the month. So I don't actually think we're gonna get much reading done. I think we're just gonna have a quick montage and then rush into tomorrow when we actually start the books. But who knows? I might be able to squeeze in a little bit of reading. And if that's the case, you'll see that in the montage as well. So I'm gonna catch you on the flip side of this little B-roll segment. You get the picture. Yes, doing good. Hi. All right, let's get into it. All right, let's get exactly the same thing. Not fully. No, I can still see. Well, success. Yeah, because this is a roll under game, right? We are, for the most part, non-believers in what's going on, right? Because when we do see things, we have to do sanity checks not to be negatively influenced. I kind of want to lean on that. I think that'll be really fun. It'll just be like, you guys are crazy. Okay, it is still the 1st, and I just finished the RPG game that I was playing with my friends. We played Call of Cthulhu. That's the first time I ever played that. It was fun. We're going to be playing again the week after next, which is cool. But we ended earlier than I was expecting, so I have some time to read. We can start the readathon officially. So let's go figure out which book I'm going to start with. Hi, hello. I have made progress on Bride of the Haunted Manor by Saphira. I'm like 30 pages into it. It is just a setup so far. The writing is fine. It's fairly simple. And this is indie published as far as I can tell, so the actual formatting of the book isn't the best. And there was a section where like a couple of sentences were just like duplicated. So there are technical issues with the book itself. In terms of the content, though, I do find the stuff that has been happening relatively interesting, but the writing is kind of meh. And like, it's a novella, so I kind of wish it jumped into the story faster, because currently we're 30 pages in and we haven't even gotten to her getting to the manor, and it doesn't feel like we'll get there pretty quick, but there are big jumps that end up happening, so it is possible that, you know, in a page or two we might actually get to the manor and start the story. But I don't know. It's been kind of interesting. I did have like an annoying moment, which was intentional, as our character, not only is she plus size, yay, she's also 35, which is also nice. So she's an older character. And we have a moment when she's a child and then a moment in her young adulthood. And so we have several key things that have happened in her life that's given to us as a setup before the actual story happens. And that's where I'm at right now. I am pretty tired, but I do want to get further along. I haven't read that much yet. So I might, I don't know, spend another maybe 30 minutes before I go to bed and see if I can get a little bit further and hopefully get to the part where she's actually at the manor. Good morning. So I got up, grabbed this book so that I could read it some more. I've recorded this little update a couple of times, but I'm having a hard time telling you how I feel without coming off as being like super harsh. I'm not liking this book, like, at all. I hate the writing. I think it's poorly put together. There's no chemistry, but we've only like just been introduced to the character and we're almost halfway through the book, or to the love interest. And even though there are ideas in the book that I like, I just think they're all poorly executed. The emotions aren't there. The timing or pacing of things is awkward. Like, I really dislike this and I absolutely hate that. I feel bad. Like, I feel like such a jerk. I feel like this would probably benefit through several more rounds of revisions. Like, this feels like what a first draft would be. Am I gonna DNF this? Guys, your girl is a hot friggin' mess. Yesterday was crazy busy. Today's been crazy busy. I also realized that tomorrow I have the book club and a live show, so I'll be busy then as well. I have videos I need to edit. What on earth made me think that I would be able to read all of the books that I wanted to for this part of the readathon by the end of this week, in 4 days? I gave myself 4 days, being all like, I can read all of those books. It's not over yet, so maybe. But I feel like past me was a little bit overconfident. Overconfident by a lot. So yeah, I was successful in completing unrelated things today and yesterday. Story of my life. And then I am hoping, wait, do I have some time? Am I just gonna go to sleep? it's probably a good idea to go to sleep, but I might continue a little bit more of this to make some progress while I'm getting ready for bed. And then hopefully I'll finish it in the morning. So fingers crossed, we can make some progress. Hi, hello, good morning. So today is Saturday, August 3rd. It is the third day of the Readathon, and I have completed nothing so far for it. The last 2 days were really busy. Hopefully we can make some progress this weekend. So, updates for yesterday. I am reading The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride for a book club. Not feeling it so far, but I do hear that it turns around and gets really good. It has some good concepts and things like conversations that it's happening, but the writing's really slow. So me and most of the people in the book club are struggling. I also ended up finishing last night The Redemptor by Jordan E. Flecko, the same book club. We ended up reading Raybearer in our last cycle. And so I wanted to read this so that we can kind of have a mini discussion before other things, because I know several people were planning on reading it. Granted, it won't be as spoiler-filled as other things that we do. I officially DNF'd Bride of the Haunted Manor, because I just wasn't feeling it. I'm in my DNF era. I hate being in my DNF era, but it is what it is. We ended up getting almost halfway through this and then just realizing, no. Anything else that I do at this point is just a lost cause, because I'm hating it the more I read it, unfortunately. And then I ended up starting our next book for the Readathon, which is for the prompt second chance, and that's Can't Resist Her by Kiana Alexander. And this one checks all of the representation boxes that I am into. We've got plus size, we have black sapphic romance, yes, please. But I will say, not loving it. I'm not hating it. It's not like the last book. In this case, I'm just not as connected to the characters right off the bat as I would like to be. Some of the ways that they're handling the situation doesn't really make sense to me with how things were presented. I just don't think it's really showing me what it wants me to feel, and it's just telling me instead, and I'm not on board. And so that kind of sucks. I do feel like the longer I get into it, the more I'm starting to like the characters and feel what's happening, but the premise and everything, I just don't really care. So it feels like it's just going to be a book that I'm going to try and get through. So we're just going to try and get through this today. I do have the book club discussion about this right now. And then I have a besties live show sprint, because even though my Patreon isn't 100% live again, it's currently paused. If you were to join, you do pay, but anybody who's already joined isn't being charged for this month. We're planning on coming back officially next month with the updated book club stuff and all of that. So yeah, shout out to all of my patrons. Maybe I'll do one of those here are my current patrons because they're awesome. One of those things, because I want to do that. I want to promote my patrons a little bit more. I've been working on the Discord so that we can do a lot of fun, cool things. I'm getting my act together. Also, the Discord, even though there is a Patreon exclusive section, it's public. Y'all can join. We're going to start doing some cool things. There's a art section, there's a book section, and there is a tabletop role-playing section. So if you're interested in any of those, you just pick your roles and it unlocks the sections. And then if you're a patron, you automatically get access to the patron exclusive section. And they've been getting a lot of live shows and behind the scenes and things like that, and that should continue as we come back. But right now, I just need to get ready for this completely unrelated to me book club that I'm a part of, and I'm going to be busy for a hot minute. But in the live shows with the besties, I think we're going to make some progress on this bad boy. So hopefully it goes well. Currently editing on stream, although the sprint is about to be over in 2 seconds. So I'm gonna go chat with the besties on the call. Really enjoying this. Houston, we have a problem. Okay, so I just got out of the bestie sprints and I mostly was editing videos, but at the end I did continue reading Can't Resist Her, which I have mostly been listening to the audiobook on Audible. Well, as I was reading along during the sprints, I noticed that Audible skipped a whole section, like 4 pages. Like it just skipped it. It went from the end of chapter 6, and instead of even introducing chapter 7, it just jumped to the middle of chapter 7. And I don't know how many times it's done this before, if that's the only time that happened, or if it was just a fluke with this one file, or if it's a fluke that I'm having with Audible or whatever. I don't know. But like it happened while the characters were having like an interaction. And one of my issues with the book so far has been the way that they interact doesn't fully make sense with what we've seen them experience so far, right? And I do know some of that feeling wouldn't change even if that was fleshed out a little bit more, but I wonder how much stuff that I have missed that could make that less of a problem for me. And I don't know what to do because I was hoping to continue to switch back to just listening to the audio while doing some chores. Like there's a bunch of stuff that I want to do, and now I'm all like, do I trust the audiobook? So I'm thinking of deleting Audible and then reinstalling the app, because I've had this issue happen before with Everand, which was previously called Scribd, and it was when it was Scribd that I had the issue. But apparently it happens to people every once in a while. If you've been using it for a really long time, I guess the app, whatever, caching system has some issue and it starts doing some bugs, but if you delete and reinstall, it fixes the issue. Editing me here to say that deleting the app and reinstalling it did in fact fix the problem. So if you're ever having that issue with any of your audio listening apps, try that and hopefully it'll fix it. But I'm still feeling kind of meh about it. I'm not disliking it at all, so that's good. And I did have a fun time kind of talking about books and things and all of that with the patrons over on the Besties Sprint. So yeah, join us if you are interested. I will be officially back to capacity in September. So yeah, it's fine if you hold off, but there is, you know, if you join now, you will get access to all of the previous stuff, along with I am doing live shows this month, trying to figure out the best time to do them. The sprints are fun because I'm able to be productive, I'm able to edit, I'm able to read, I'm able to do different things and hang out with you guys. Like, it's so cool. So yeah, doing that more over there and also doing more stuff on the Discord and all of that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun hanging out, but I am nervous about this. So we're gonna try and see if I can fix it and start doing some of these chores, because tomorrow I want to just chill and read. So I have to get stuff done today. Okay, so 3rd day into the readathon and I have finished the first book. My feelings on this is hard to say. I don't think there's anything wrong with the story in general, but I didn't like the way things were done. I was a little bit more careful in the end to make sure that I wasn't missing things. And even with the way stuff was actually set up without like missing chunks, I feel like we didn't get what was necessary for the feelings that we were having. And that really took me out of it. I also realized that I didn't enjoy some of the like language in certain areas. Like, it was fine, but like it made me feel kind of like you know? And so people will totally enjoy this. While I was reading it, I was like, yeah, this is perfectly fine. I just don't feel anything for any of the characters. Conceptually, it's fine. I didn't love the story. I didn't love the way certain things went down. There is this kind of communication and kind of openness that happens that I could appreciate, but the setup didn't really make sense for it. And then the like third act breakup also didn't fit with it, and I just feel like I would have enjoyed if it was constructed differently. I don't know. I'm so frustrated because I'm apparently just not having the best luck. So I think to cheer myself up, we're going to have a plus size book haul. Because why not? That's obviously a good time. I ended up purchasing a bunch of books for this readathon, and why not open them up, see if there's some things that excite me, because we've had some misses so far. Realized that my shelves were lacking and ended up doing a purchase. Now I'm actually going to split this up because we're going to be doing this sour reading vlog for all of the sour prompts, and then I'm also going to be doing the sweet reading vlog, and so I'll do half and half, okay, so that I'm not spending way too long going over a really large haul. I ended up getting The Vampire in the Bookstore by L.M. Drew. Look at this. This looks like it's going to be spicy, which makes me think that's totally a great vibe for sour. I think it's just a smutty romance with a vampire in a bookstore. It says, there's nothing more interesting to a book-loving vampire than an old bookstore and a human with the rich aroma of ink and parchment embedded in her skin. The one that I'm super excited about and haven't seen much is Yours Insatiably. I actually think this is like book 2 in a series. I'm interested in the first one, but the first one didn't actually fit for this. It looks hot. I'm excited about this one. So it says, Averin understands hunger. With her ravenous desire to succeed, it's no surprise she hides her monstrosity from the world. Easier said than done. When she sleeps with her infuriating, why can I not words? This has been happening to me so often. It's like my mouth doesn't work anymore. Okay. Her infuriating coworker and lets her succubus secret slip. But it's a one-time thing. She's not jeopardizing her career over a night with Pi, no matter how much she can't stop thinking about it. But Pi understands hunger too, being famished for something they can't have, mouth-watering at the sight of her. But Pi and Averin agree to be friends, and since fairies can't lie, he'll keep his late-night thoughts to himself. When Pi introduces Averin to the world of monsters she's long avoided, they both have a hard time forgetting what they did together and a harder time remembering that they can't cross that line again. So it may not be as steamy as I want it to be, since they're basically just going to be trying to avoid each other, but I'm still friggin' here for it. So then I ended up getting The Next Best Fling, which is a new release. It actually arrived perfectly. I actually pre-ordered it because it popped up somewhere and I was like, that sounds interesting. And then I pre-ordered it and then I was like, hey, this is perfect for all of this. Like it just fell into place perfectly. It was not planned. This one, we have a librarian who's been secretly in love with her best friends for years. When he gets engaged, she knows it's long past time to move on. But when she dutifully attends the engagement party, as a good, quietly suffering friend does, she discovers that she's not the only one with an unrequited crush. She may have it bad for the groom-to-be, but his hot ex-NFL brother, Theo Young, has it even worse for the bride. Oh, that sucks. Before either of them knows exactly what they're doing, Marcella and Thea agree to get over their heartbreak by fake dating. Only the attraction between them doesn't feel remotely like pretending. This happened in another book that I was reading that I really enjoyed, the like fake dating trope where two people like somebody else and then they try and date each other to make the other person either see the error of their ways or whatever, and then they fall for each other. Love it. So excited to get into it. I guess that's probably why I picked it. Makes sense. Okay, then a non-romance or steamy or spicy book instead. This is, I think, a YA, and it's called Eat Your Heart Out by Kelly DeVos. And we have a like zombie apocalypse situation where our main character, I guess, is just like fighting zombies and kicking butt. She's always ready to kick ass. But taking on rabid zombies, that's a new one. Just a bunch of characters, it seemed like. Allie has her own reasons for coming to camp, and she's desperate to keep those to herself. Steve just wants to make some quick money as a camp counselor, and a plan he's really starting to regret. Paul's dad might own the camp, but that doesn't mean Paul will be spared the worst it has to offer. Sheldon is an experienced computer hacker, a skill that's definitely come back to bite him. Rachel has the biggest secret of all, one that could get the rest of the campers killed. Which Featherlight campers will survive? Only time will tell. Dum dum dum. But yeah, look at this cover. I love this cover. It's so fun. So fun. This reminds me of back when I was like a pastel cutie. Now I'm like a autumn hottie. Anyway, the last one that we're gonna go over for this video is a indie book. And it is, I mean, several of the books were indie, so I don't know why I'm stressing that, but this one is A Turn in the Air. But look at this cover. Like, this is 100% a cover buy. This is also a book 2. The book 1, I don't know. But this one, the art looks great, and I think it's supposed to be steamy and fun. I don't know. Apparently, I'm all about getting steamy books. So, okay, actually, I have one more thing to share with you. It came in a little bit later, but I'm really excited about it, and also wanted to say a huge thank you to the PR team that sent this to me, because your girl's getting official up here. Now, I have gotten something from this author in the past before, and I enjoyed it. So I was excited to try this out, and I did peek inside, so I have an idea of what's in here, but I figured we can officially open it together. First thing I see is a pair of themed socks based off of the book, which is pretty interesting. I think they have like the title on the base and then some of the cover art here. The next thing in here looks like it's some mints. They included this in the other package that I had, although it was in a little tin case, which I think is very interesting. So this time we get red mints and white mints, and then they are themed because a lot of these books are based off of true crime stories, but then kind of like retold and slightly changed. Like, they are fiction still. So this one is arsenic themed, and this one is antimony themed. So I think that's really cute. And then it's got the title of the book, which I am deliberately trying not to spoil until we actually get to it. And then this is an actual arc, which I've never gotten before. I've gotten like published books after the fact from publishers, but never an actual like physical arc. So this is exciting. Not from them. I've gotten secondhand arcs, but never from the actual author PR team. The book is The Grays of Truth by Sharon Vertz. And it also has this little matching bookmark. Oh, look at that quote. It's a horrible thing, madness, the inability to think without the constant chattering of voices unknown to you, compelling you to do the unthinkable, the inability to recognize reality from the unreal, right from wrong. Dum dum dum. Okay, so this book takes place in Reconstruction era Baltimore, and in it we have the members of the elite are going missing, and our main character, she and her husband go to visit his brother, and while there, I believe her husband falls sick and ends up dying. And so doesn't think about it too much because it seemed like natural causes until a few weeks later, her and her daughter visit again and they both fall very ill. And now she's starting to think her brother-in-law is up to something. So it says she is a trained chemist and a former nurse. Unfortunately, she's haunted by a history of delusion, loss, and institutionalization. More people are dying. Our character is not only trying to figure out what's going on, but she's also suffering some sort of mental issue. And so I'm sure that it is going to make it very difficult for her to uncover the truth. So yeah, Seems interesting. Inspired by true events involving one of Baltimore's most powerful family, the Greys of Truth is the story of one woman's quest for answer in her fight for redemption. I did like the last book that I read from her, and because of the actual premise of this one, I'm interested to see if I'll like it even more than I did the first one, which I did have some hiccups with, but overall really enjoyed. So I'm feeling good. I have high hopes. That is it for our little book haul interlude. So let's get back to the video. Okay, so that was nice. That was enjoyable. I realized that I can use the Vampire in the Bookstore as one of our novellas to replace our DNF novella. So hopefully I will have better luck with this one. Fingers crossed. But I am not in the mood to physically read right now, as I am setting up videos, trying to be productive, get things ready for when I'm done reading. And so I would like to continue listening to an audiobook, and I did just get the When Grumpy Met Sunshine audiobook from my library via the Libby app. That's a mouthful. So it makes sense for me to read this now while I am multitasking. And then maybe later tonight I can start reading My Curvy Rival, just so that I can make some progress on it, even though we're not going to finish that in this video. And then I'm hoping tomorrow I can physically read this in the morning and maybe also start Delicious Monsters. I'm behind. I was hoping that I'd have more done by now, but I haven't had the best luck with my picks. And yeah, that really makes it hard to be productive when you're not enjoying the book you're trying to read. So, oh my goodness, I'm really hoping that I have better luck with the next ones. Like, fingers crossed, you guys. Wish me luck, because I'm kind of scared. That being said, I love a Grump Sunshine romance, so I have high hopes, because at least the premise of this is something that I'm into. So maybe I'll be into it even if the writing isn't my jam. I just have been running into so many books where I don't jive with the writing, and I hate it. I'm really hoping to make more progress on the readathon today and tomorrow, but it's already late. And I doubt I'll be able to finish this tonight, but I'll probably make a pretty big dent. That's what I'm thinking. So, wish me luck. And I'm going to now go do some productive things. And I think we'll do a little bit of a B-roll montage, you know, of me doing some stuff. Laundry. I'm doing laundry. I'm gonna take all of the sheets off of my bed. I'm washing the ones that are gonna replace them, and then I have to wash those as well, obviously. And then I have to do some more work on the computer, because that's where I spend most of my time, doing computer stuff. But yeah, I gotta clickety clackety clack clack away at the computer, set up some video files for videos that are in the works, because I am in the middle of like 15 videos. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Also, you know, show Kiwi some love. She's a little sleepy baby. So getting her Z's in, her sleepy times, trying to be productive. This is where I realized the power was out to the outlets in my room. My thoughts on this next book. Well, hot dang, the readathon gods have finally blessed me with a winner. I am, I don't know, maybe 70% into this. I have been eating it up. I ended up doing all of the things that I wanted to, just finished, sorry Kiwi, I just startled her. I just finished doing all of the main chores that I wanted to do, finished adding all of the video files and setting up several videos that are currently in progress. I grabbed the freshly washed sheets and swapped out the duvet and sheets for the new clean ones, and I have been enjoying this the whole friggin' time. Right from the start, I have been hooked. I like the writing, I like the premise, I like the chemistry. It is a trope and cliche that I absolutely adore, so I'm biased, but I'm having the best time. Which after all of those flops, I can't even express how happy I am right now to be loving this as much as I do. Like, yes, please. Yes, please. And I will say, the whole like grumpy character who is, I don't know, big and intimidating and all of that on the outside, but is a softy sweet man on the inside is my weakness. Also, fake dating. Oh my goodness. I'm in love. And I just friggin' love the chemistry. I haven't finished it yet, so we will see if this ends up being the 5-star that it currently feels once I actually get to the end, because obviously that's going to determine everything. But so far, I don't care. I'm just enjoying every single bit of it. Every single bit of it. It's checking all of the boxes for me. I feel so silly because like I'm really loving it. Other than that, I did unfortunately break my nail pretty low, which is a bummer. And the breaker in this room randomly keeps getting like turned off. I think there must be something else connected to it that keeps setting it off, because I will like not have anything going on in here and then I'll come in randomly and try and use the outlets. The main light is fine. It's the outlets that just keep going off. So I had to go down into the basement to flip the switch, and I was listening to the audiobook for this, and I was just like smiling and just having a blast because some cute stuff was happening while that was going on. Same with when I was putting on the sheets. Like I'm having so much fun. So much. I'm supposed to take a break from that and do some physical reading, but like I don't want to stop. I don't think I can put this down. Like, I imagine I'm gonna stay up so that I can continue reading this. Oh my god. Thank you, Readathon gods, because I needed a win. Okay, hi, hello. I just finished When Grumpy Met Sunshine, and I loved it. I will say, overall, the book is a 5-star for me. The ending was like a 4.5. It, I don't know, dragged on a little bit, but overall, I adored everything about it. Although there is the warning that the characters have, I almost want to say, low self-esteem. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but our main character definitely follows into that cliche of, you know, not the normal girl that the guy would date, and therefore she doesn't believe that he would be into her kind of thing. But I loved it. I loved it. It worked out. I enjoyed so much about it. I feel like it was really well done. I loved the chemistry. I loved the characters. I felt like there were several things that was relatable. I also realized in general that I struggle a little bit. Like I don't have a problem with steam in books, but a lot of times it kind of like throws me off and I'm like, oh, God. And you know, it's more of an eye roll thing. But when we got to that point in here, there was a natural kind of build up that was very much appreciated and made me able to kind of get into the scenes and not feel kind of just like, well, that came out of left field. Because I feel like some of the books that I've read in the past, you know, it's just kind of all like, oh, yes, it's a Tuesday, and then I'm thinking about her tight tits or whatever. And it's just all like, what? How did, you know, point A bring you to point B? Like, give me some warning, trying to give me like whiplash up here. So, this definitely had a build up in the interaction that was believable and just overly appreciated. So, yeah, I really, 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 really adored it. Like, it's definitely in the 5-star range. I'm just a little bit annoyed that the ending, and I don't dislike the ending. The ending was just kind of meh. I don't know. The ending didn't give me the feels that the rest of the book did, but I liked it in general. It just wasn't as impactful as the rest of the book was. So I do feel like I need to call that out, even though I loved everything else about this, like, so much. And I liked the ending. Like, don't get me wrong. It just, everything else, I was just really strongly invested in it. So yeah, it's late now. We started on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's still day 3, and we have completed the second book of the Readathon. So we have marked off the prompt a grumpy character. Happy about that. Now I am super tired. So I'm going to tuck my bangs into my bonnet and go to sleep. So, good night. Good morning, and welcome to day 4 of the Readathon and what I had planned to be the last day for this vlog. But I feel like it's overly ambitious for me to try and finish all of the remaining books, especially considering one of our picks is this thick, intimidating bad boy. Yeah, I don't know, but yesterday, we did complete our first 2 prompts. Last night, I finished When Grumpy Met Sunshine, and I gave you guys my updates, but like, I cannot stress how much I enjoyed this book. A little disappointed by the ending, but only a little bit. Like, I like what happened in the ending. It just didn't give me the feeling of the rest of the book, but I really enjoyed it. So now I have started this morning before getting ready for the day, which is going to be a comfy reading day. I have nothing except reading and editing videos on my plate. So I started the buddy read for the Readathon, which I'm planning on getting halfway through and then finishing in next week's vlog, which we will be tackling the sweets prompts. So you're not going to hear my final thoughts on that. I am thinking of switching to the audiobook for this and then finishing the day off with the physical read of this. That's kind of what my thoughts are, my plans, my hopes and dreams. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I'm currently 14 pages into the 82 pages that I want to read for this, and then obviously 2 complete books on top of that. I feel like I'm missing something. I'm not, right? There's 4 prompts for each of them plus the buddy read. Only 9 total, which isn't bad. I also did my Instagram post for week 1. And now I want to plan out and figure out what I'm going to do for week 2. I was looking at that earlier and I'm not sure what direction I want to go. Also, do I have, yes, Delicious Monsters pulled up already. So that's ready to go. I'm so excited, you guys. This has been so much fun. And it's nice because I'm interacting with Discord more in general. Like, I have it on my phone. And so I ended up posting my TBR to my Discord in addition to the plus size Readathon Discord, which I will have linked below. Also, in the video that I announced this, I'm pretty sure I had the links, but if not, they should be there now. And then I'm also gonna try and put links to the Readathon and the creators of it down below as well, so that if you guys want to join, because you have all of August for whichever team you want to read, the prompts you want to read for what team, you only need to do roughly 5 if you pick one team, and then there's 1 photo prompt per week. So 4 photo prompts once a week, which I think is nice, because if you're like me and you struggle with your social media, only have to worry about doing it once a week is chef's kiss. Week 2, it's rep your teams. So I'm officially the sour team because Julia, team captain, is the one who let me know about the readathon to begin with. So obviously I'm going to officially be part of her team. So this one says, rep your team and take a photo of your current read with your sweet or sour treat. I don't think I have any sour treats. I'm like a sweets girly. I love sour, don't get me wrong, but I tend to have sweet things on hand, chocolates specifically, because usually I'm actually pretty good at not overdoing chocolates, but sometimes I'm not. I could maybe stop by this store. Okay, so I finally ended up going to the nearby liquor store. And in California, liquor stores are like corner stores as well, and they tend to have a lot of like snacks and candy and stuff like that. This place literally just had liquor. I was like, not at all what I was expecting. I guess I will do the challenge for my sweet reads instead. Okay, hi, hello. I'm making progress on my curvy rival. Pretty early on into this, we've gotten some horny thoughts and, steamy vibes. And so, since it's a novella, definitely makes me assume it's going to be more on the steamy side of things, which I'm totally here for. I realize that me personally, I am not a big fan of like really smutty books having like big emotional plot focuses separate from the smuttiness. Exceptions to that would be something like this book, where this falls under a normal romance book to me, but it has a lot of spice. It gets very smutty towards the end, but there's like a natural lead up to it that makes me feel like it's still part of the story and it fits with everything, and I don't feel like I'm reading 2 different books or getting whiplash going back and forth between what feels like a regular romance and then a smutty romance, because it really bothers me when I'm like reading a romance in particular and it's like the wind blows softly in the distance and the sun shines and illuminates her golden skin, and all I can think is how hard my is and how tight that ass. And it's like, what? Give me some warning. Or just like somebody's all like, and I sit at my desk at work and then all of a sudden it goes, and all I can think about is her tight blah, 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 blah ass. And it's just all like, okay, I wasn't expecting us to have a horny moment at this moment in the book. And in those instances, they don't even say, like, I can't get her out of my mind. I'm constantly thinking about her, and my mind is turning towards, like, whatever. Like, give me lead up. Give me a warning before you just throw me in the deep end. Because otherwise, in all honesty, it just feels so bizarre. Like, it's like somebody just like cursing for the sake of it and having it not relate to anything. Even in here, I was like flipping back through some of the pages to find some scenes, and like randomly I noticed a bunch of like just random curse words. And I was like, I didn't even realize that they were cursing that much because it just fit. It flowed. It didn't stand out. It wasn't something that I was like, dang, like, give me a break. Their first encounter is you know, it's horny. That's just the way to describe it. And I'm kind of like, okay, well, I appreciate that happening early on so I can set my expectations and not think of this as a regular romance, right? Like, I'm thinking of this as a smutty romance, which is valid and fine, and I enjoy it. But there are definitely books that tote the line. And I also hear people who complain, like people complain about stuff like this where they're like, I want more plot to my smut. And I'm like, I don't. I would very much appreciate that not to be the case. That being said, I am down for well integrated smut in a romance. Because this I classify as a romance, but it does definitely get smutty. Like this, the steam factor goes up quite a bit once it goes. And so I enjoyed that under the circumstances because it was integrated very well. And I guess I shouldn't say this as I haven't finished it yet, but knowing that a book is going to be, you know, steamy or horny or a little raunchy or whatever right off the bat, I just have different expectations for it, and I am able to enjoy it in a different way on a different level versus the romances that I prefer. Like, this is just, it's not a romance to me. Like, it's in the genre, but it's separate, I guess, is my thought process on it. Anyway, my battery is gonna die, so I guess that's it for these thoughts. Okay, so I'm not done, but I have gotten to the halfway point, so we're finishing this for now. Considering it is definitely more of a smutty book, I can get behind it. It does have some setup that I appreciate. There are definitely things that I wouldn't be a fan of in a regular romance, but I'm having a good time. So interested to see where the second half goes and how much more like backstory or additional information we end up getting, and you know, what kind of issues and stuff like that they're going to face. But I imagine probably some more steamy scenes at least. So that will be for the next video. So I will give you my final thoughts then. Which means now we can completely switch things up and go in a totally different direction with Delicious Monsters by Leslie Sambury. Not only is this a more horror type story, it's also, I think, YA. So I'm gonna be a little bit honest with you. I feel awkward following up the last book with this, but it is on the list. This is going to be for the prompt intimidating read. And as far as I'm aware, it is dual perspective with two characters. I'm almost going to say it's a haunted house sort of scenario, but we have one girl many years before who can see ghosts and goes to this like manor that she'd grown up in or something like that, and something happens. And then a decade later or something, the other girl is brought to the same place and is trying to uncover what happened around the same time that the first girl was there. And so we're hearing the story through both timelines. And the new girl, I think, is like a true crime podcaster or something. And so there's probably going to be death, murder, and mystery. And there's supposed to be ghosty vibes, dark pasts, and complicated, possibly abusive relationships between, you know, mother-daughter scenarios. So we're just going off in a completely different direction. I am intimidated. It's a thick book. It's got heavier topics. It's definitely not light and fluffy. I'm a little bit nervous, but I do love mysteries. I love spooky things, supernatural things, and I also like dual timelines and multi POVs. It'll be a good time. I'm trying to convince myself because I'm also scared. I'm not crying, you're crying. I just finish Delicious Monsters. I was about to take a shower. I know I look awful, but I couldn't put it down. I started it in the morning. I had a bit of a slow start, and I was like, okay, I'll just listen to it while I take my shower, get ready for work. And I kind of just like sat down and I got pulled in. 5 stars. It's funny because I was not sure for part of it. I was invested the whole time, but I was like, I don't know where this is gonna go. Like, and I was even thinking that the 2 timelines weren't quite connected as much as I would have liked them to be. And of course, like, as soon as I said that, like, we're starting to see connections. We're starting to see things happen and tie together, and the conversations that this book is having. It's hard. So definitely trigger warnings if you're gonna read this, but like, it's worth it. It was so well done. It's funny, I'm not even crying anymore, but I'm still just like, oh my goodness. I'm surprised at how good this book was. Especially because I even was feeling like I was a little annoyed at one point about like how connected, because I was just like going through stuff and I was like, wait, isn't there a whole nother timeline? Like, what's going on with that? And I was like, oh, I feel like they're not as connected as I would like. And immediately as I said that, we jump over and we get more from the other one. And I was just all like, oh, okay. Okay. I see where this is going. I'm gonna take my shower now because I literally put that on pause so that I could finish this and get ready for my day. I have a little bit more time before work that I think I'm probably gonna do a little bit of video editing. But at the same time, I don't think I have that much more time because I got caught up. Caught up. This is our 3rd book. This one was for intimidating read, not a surprise. That was definitely correct considering this super long book made me cry. We finished that prompt, which means now we're going to be reading The Vampire in the Bookstore for the novella prompt. So I'm gonna hop in the shower, do some work things, and then I will get back to you once I'm able to make some progress on this bad boy. Whoops, sorry, Kiwi. Why do you do that? You just, and then I feel bad, and I'm the one that kicked you. Say hi to the people. Such an awkward way to hold you, but I do it all the time. Be in a better spot. No? You were doing nothing to get comfortable. Ooh, stinky breath. You were just eating, weren't you? Can I put you down? Last night, I started and finished The Vampire in the Bookstore by L.M. Drew. And I enjoyed this in general, especially all of the, book restoration and the archiving and book collecting and just the book elements. On top of that, I really enjoyed the writing, especially in the beginning. I will say it kind of leads up to more steamy moments. And I was so excited because I was enjoying everything about the books. And then I'll say personally that part was kind of a letdown. It started getting boring and I was ready for it to just be over and to move on to the next thing. So that was a little bit of a disappointment, but I still enjoyed it for the most part. So I don't know. I imagine if I was to rate this, it'd probably be in the 3-star realm. Even though like I really liked the writing initially and how like invested I was off the bat about what was gonna happen and all of that stuff. And their little like mystery and that. Like the vampire element was fun and the books. Apparently I have a thing about books. Not a surprise. But I was like, oh wow, I didn't think books could like be a turn on. That's awkward. Yeah, so we finished the last prompt for the Sour team. which means now all we have to do is hop on over to the sweet prompts, complete the book for both of the teams, and catch you in the next video with my thoughts on all of these. I'm super excited about this. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you are participating, let me know if you were on the sweet team or sour team. Have you read anything that you really liked? I've had a couple of flops, but also a couple of new favorites. So I feel like already this is pretty successful. And I am really excited to see how I feel about My Curvy Rival, and then also the books that we have going on in the next one. Because I have been wanting to read this for ages, and it's finally time. Like, it's finally time, and I'm here for it. I really hope I enjoy it, because I have the second book in this series on my TBR for this month, and I really hope that it's my jam, or else that'll suck. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Happy reading, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, bye!